How feels each and every one of you this wonderful, lovely new day? How feels wonderful, beautiful, handsome, enlightened, and fantastically prosperous and healthy you this wonderful, lovely new day? Well, I welcome all of you to today's program. Today, we are going to talk about the vision which liberates us from human encumbrances. Our text for today is taken from the Old Testament in the Christian Bible, the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. And it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end he shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Let me read it again. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end he shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. See, you have heard so many times, where there is no vision, the people perish. If you have no goals, your life is at a standstill and anything can happen. But like some of the motivational teachers teach, what you see is what you get. And you would have read when growing up, or you would have heard people call people with vision seers. I'm going to see a seer. What is he going to see that you cannot see? It's like the word miracle, which is my oracle. What I say is going to happen. You see, you don't need to go to see a seer to see your future for you. You can see it for yourself. And today, I'm going to share with you how you can envision your life and see positive outcomes. See, in the book of Habakkuk, the prophet said that I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. He was not going to stand on a tower. But you see, when you look at the spine, the vertebrae are like steps which you can climb. And when you get into the head, into the brain, and you look towards the space between the eyebrows, about here, that is where you will see the screen of space and time. And you can plant your vision there. You see, your thought is electric, and your feeling is magnetic. And so when you send the thought, the feeling draws the experience to you. So your thought and your feeling must be in harmony for your vision to be accomplished. And it says, right? It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. You see, a lot of times, many of us don't write down our goals. But when you have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish, and you write it down, it really helps to impress it upon your subconscious mind. Because as you write it, you are still repeating it in your mind. And when you write it with confidence, it is sure to come to pass. And so, for the youth especially, you see, I listened, there was a song by a group known as the Commodores. It says, do what you want to do, be what you want to be strong and tell the world that you are free. It says, I see the children of the world searching to find themselves and who they are. So many roads for them to choose, so many ways for them to win or lose. This is your life. You see, I remember when I decided to change my lifestyle from just living just by heart into planning my life according to divine order. And I wrote down two things. I wrote that I would like to start my own business and also to get to know God better. And I wrote down the things which will help me reach that goal. And I wrote down on another side the things which will not help me reach that goal. And I had to change my lifestyle completely to be in sync with the things that I knew I had to do to reach the goals. And it helped me to streamline my lifestyle and to embrace what we here call self-discipline. I did not know that then, but I went according to the self-discipline that we know here. But at a point in time, I looked every time I pasted the sheet on my bathroom mirror. And every morning when I wake up to go brush my teeth and to take a shower, I will read what I have written. And anytime my attention went on to the negative things that I saw them plenty. And so I took the sheet, tore it, and decided that I was going to focus only on the things which will help me know God better and to start my own business. And after some time, my whole world started to crash. My world that I knew it started to crash. And I said to myself, oh, God, now that I want to know you and to start my business, my relationships were, crushing. My activities were crushing. But I saw myself, meditating, practicing hatha yoga, thinking positively and all. But I saw my other life, the old life, crumbling. And I didn't like it one bit. Because the car I had got spoiled. My girlfriend then, we had to break up. Everything started, and my apartment was boggled. And the people who came, if they had seen me, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. But then, later on, I saw what we call here the Shiva principle. Whenever God wants to do a new thing, your old life goes away for a new life to come up. And that is the dance of Shiva. We say that we have God as the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. But whatever happens, God destroys that which you do not need. When you go, if you are a farmer and you are going to plant things in your farm, when you get there, the weeds and other things that you don't need, don't you clear them? And then you plant what you need. And when it was being cleared, I didn't feel happy. But later on, I found out that, that was what has saved my life. And so, when you are very clear about your vision, write it down and write the steps that you will take to fulfill that vision. And with a positive mental attitude, start where you are. You see, most of the times, you get the idea, but you don't know what you have to go through to fulfill it, So just start where you are, and the intelligence which gave you that vision will come in to lead you. Because whenever you accept to do what is right, God brings people and circumstances to achieve that particular goal. There was once a man who decided that he was going to be the business partner of one of the richest men in his time. And at that time, he was not working. He didn't have any job. And he got on a train. The train itself, he didn't pay. He got on a freight train and walked. And when he got to the town, he walked to the man's office to announce himself that I've come to be your business partner. The rich man looked at him carefully, and he didn't start him as his business partner. He made him go to the lowest job. And he worked his way, and one day he became his business partner. You see, it tells us that write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. When you look at how consciousness manifests, how God created the world, you will find out that the creative energy, space, time, and then light particles, when they come together, God uses his mind to create forms, and then it manifests. So there is a time factor. The time factor is what we use to measure happenings in space. And so things manifest according to their own structure. Look, a tomato seed is a seed, isn't it? Huh? And a cocoa seed is also a seed. And a mango seed is also a seed. Now, if you plant the three of them together, will you get tomatoes, mangoes, and cocoa on the same day? So if you plant, most likely the tomatoes will sprout first, and you get the yield of tomatoes first, and then mangoes will come second, and then you get cocoa. But they are all seeds. And so all ideas manifest according to the time that the intelligence that runs this universe will allow it to happen. And so you should not, try to force things. When a chicken lays its eggs, or when you find a butterfly's cocoon, if you go and tear the cocoon open, that butterfly will never be able to fly. But when it struggles in the cocoon, that struggling makes the wings strong. And when the cocoon breaks out, the butterfly can fly. Likewise, when you try to force things to happen, you rather weaken them. And so just go with the flow of consciousness. Just act in the rightful way. Water it and let it get sunshine, the ideas. That is, keep a very clear mental attitude, a positive one. Walk with faith and not what you are seeing. You see, at the time that my life started to crumble, I looked at it and I didn't like it. But because I was, steeped in the practice of meditation and affirmations and hatha yoga and doing the right things I knew I should do, I was able to go through the phase of destruction successfully, and in a short while things started to improve, and whatever I thought was missing, I had all of them again, and better ones. And so today, as you listen to this thing that the prophet Habakkuk have said, you enter into your system, your physical body, and raise your attention from the base of the spine into the brain and higher brain centers. Focus the attention at the spiritual eye center and release the vision. Create a picture of yourself as a winner. A very good friend of mine wrote a book entitled it, Picture Yourself a Winner. Now, see yourself accomplishing positive things that will enhance all of life. Look, when you see the number of times Thomas Edison tried to bring out light and he failed, some people would have stopped. But he continued because he could see it clearly in his mind that he's been able to get a light. He did it until one day, so Lahiri Mahasha says, practice, practice, one day realization. And so when you are doing the thing, when you are doing the practice and you are going through these growing up difficulties, don't think that life is treating you bad. But know that life is showing you how it is not done. You know, we all went to school. And from your elementary school through to your tertiary education, you learn so many things. I was talking with a friend, a very good friend of mine, and we said most of the things that we learned in school, growing up we never used them. A lot of the things that we learned. But it widened our horizon. That's the way I see it now. It widened our horizon. It gave us the idea of learning things just to know about them. But when you decide that you are going to reach this particular goal, don't let anyone, don't let anything stop you from reaching that goal. And especially for goals that mean so much to you, don't discuss those goals with people who are not achieving the goals, because that is not their dream. That is not part of their mental processes. It's like going to talk about fishing. You want to do canoe fishing, then you go and talk about it with a carpenter. That is not his vision. You understand? But you speak about going to fishing with fisher folks. You know, when people started going to China, I said to my wife, why don't you go to China? We had friends, she had friends who were going to China. When she asked them, they said, hey, don't try. You see, you need over $50,000 to go to China. And they talked to her about a lot of difficulties. You know, when the first time she went to China, I was in the US. And then she called me and she said she had found, she has found a contract for her to take some business people to China. They will buy, her ticket will be bought, and they will give her some stipend. She went and she found out that you didn't need even $5,000. Okay? Depending upon what you are going to buy. And that 50,000 that the people were talking about was highly inflated. They didn't want her to go. They wanted to monopolize the going to China. And so sometimes when you seek advice from where you should not, they can fool you. People can fool you. So learn to keep your goals in your mind. And life will bring people and circumstances to guide you. You see, when I made up my mind that I was going to America to be with my guru, I didn't discuss it with anyone. Every day I'll wake up and see myself with my guru. Every night when going to sleep, I will sleep in that same thought. I never discussed it with anyone. And in 2 weeks, I was back in the US. I went to see him. Before I wrote to everyone that this is where I am. You know, because the people that I was with didn't want me to tread the path that I was treading. You understand? And so if I had discussed it with them, they would have shut it down. Oh, but this place that you are going to, have you been there before? What if you go and they catch you and kill you? Your mind will be poisoned. I remember when this Guyana, that there was a pastor in Guyana who killed his people. You know, when it happened, some people called me, they thought it was Ghana. And I said, I don't come from Guyana, I come from Ghana. And so I don't know the pastor you are talking about. You see, life is for living, and you must find the truth of life. And so one of the goals that you must seek after is, what is this life that I'm living? What is its source? And how can I live like the source has planned it for me? You see, if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers to life. Oh. You know, we will be around, looking for Mercedes-Benz, looking for a nice house and other things. And at the end of our life on earth, we'll find out that we chased after the wrong things. But if you begin, that is why Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, the state of spirit and right thinking, right feeling, and right action. And then all the things that you need will be added unto you. But if you think that you know what you need, and you go looking for cars and houses and clothing, and look, those are the easiest. Even birds that don't work, they build their nest. They wear their clothes as their feathers. They find food to eat, yet they don't plant. You understand? And so if you, who are higher beings than birds and animals, you can't give yourself a good place to sleep, you can't transport yourself back and forth. You know, we have people living in this country, in the rural areas. My mom told me about an uncle of hers. He says when you are traveling with him, during those days, you travel by foot, no cars. He said you'll be going and then he will say, oh, I'm going to urinate. So you take the lead. You go out, you go and wait. You will not find him. By the time you get to the village that you are going to, he is there. And when you ask, he got there the time that he said he was going to urinate. You understand? People knew how to teletransport themselves to places because they had to be there. And they had to find the best way to get there. And so, life showed them. Life brought circumstances and people into their lives to show them. So if you want to do well with this life, ask the right questions and you get the right answers. Ramana Maharishi sat down and he asked, what am I? But, when people started writing it, translating it, they did it, who am I? What am I? He awakened to his true nature by asking, what am I? And so, if you ask yourself in your language, like, whine me. That is my what am I? Whine me. Me. And so we must look, in Akan, they say, you see, any who has dear, what are you seeing under? Eh? And they say, get wisdom, but with all thy getting, get understanding. And so you must see under. And behind every form is the spirit. And so you must go to your spiritual nature. You must go to source. And then let the source give you the vision. And then you walk by the vision. And they say you walk by faith and not by sight. It is not what you are seeing out here, but what you are seeing inner is your real life. That is what will happen, because most oftentimes we are living in our heads more than in our environment. The inner environment is what comes out as your outer experiences. So I always say that experience it, and then you experience it. Feel it, see it, and feel it inside. And as you walk, you begin to see what you are seeing and feeling inside unfold before you. And so, if you hear again that write the vision, write your goals down. You see, I wish every child who plays soccer would be told that soccer is a game that can help you reach your goals. Because you have your offense, your defense, and the goalkeeper, the one who makes sure that they don't score goals into your net. And you find ways and means to reach your goals. You know, I played juvenile soccer coach. And when they came for us, all of us were in our neighborhoods playing gutter to gutter and at the local fields. And they came, they said, well, we have a team called this name and we want you to come and play for us. So we went. They brought boys from Osu, from other parts of Accra. And when we got to the team's park at Sahara, at Abraka, the manager, the coach came to us and he said, you know, all of you know how to play soccer. That is why we brought you. But now we want you to play as a team. Okay? You are not playing individually, but you are going to play as a team. And to play as a team, what we want you to do is that you need to have strength, and then strategy. And so they said, if you play 90 minutes soccer, 45 minutes each term, you have to be able to play 180 minutes. And you must have strategies. So when you have to kick a corner, or you have to kick a free kick or a penalty, they first ask you, where do you want to kick the ball to? Show me where you want to kick it to. If you say right, if you kick it and it hits the post, they will tell you, if you are on the field, you have said that they have jujued you. And so they worked hard to remove juju, the influence of other people on us in our soccer playing time. And that was when I found out that the people, they say our team, we play, it was not juju, it was wisdom. They trained us not to fear juju, but we struck fear in our opponents. And so we go in, and because we had strategies, we had plans, we knew how to reach our goals because we played as a team. And so if you come, we'll beat you 6 and 5 and 4. If we beat you 1, then it means that you are really, really good. And so I don't see teams being trained that way anymore. But train yourself to excel. Know that no one can put you to the top if you do not want to be on top. But if you want to be on top, life will come as circumstances and people, and that inner drive of yours will drive you to the top. And so, as I have said, write down the vision and write your clear plans to reach those goals. And then start. Walk with faith. And life will bring people and circumstances, and voila, you will see that your goal is achieved. And if you have heard me right, I thank you. Namaste. And now, shall we have our closing?